I'm ready for a literal tongue lashing on this next level. And you may not get that reference. You may not. But there should be some weird frog-looking dudes who are just gonna like use their tongue to just like slap you. I think it's Terrace Village, right? That's the one I'm expecting. Oh no, I'm wrong here. See, can't trust my memory. It'll be like the next one. Misty Bog. Steamy Poo. That's what we're gonna call that level. Steamy Poo. It's not good. Anyway. Yep. I was just overexcited. I just really wanted to see those frogs just send me. Now, one of the strange things, these guys here, I do miss the original one. They sounded a bit more hardcore. Whenever you'd hit them, they'd be like, oh, wow. I don't know why I tried to replicate it. That was never going to work out. That was bad, and I should feel bad. Just that Professor Farnsworth reference. Yeah, it's just... They made this awesome noise, and now they're just kind of like... It's not a bad noise, it's just... It's not quite as satisfying as what it was, and I am struggling. God. Just get it. Good Lord. Serve my memory well. See, that just sounds... it just doesn't sound as good, does it? It just isn't. It's just not as good. Yeah, they should be like making that really deep noise, like, yeah, that's a much better attempt than my first one. That was just crappy. Now they just sound kind of nerdy, and I mean, I get it. This is nerdy as it is. But it used to sound dope. It sounded good. Anyways, as far as the next playthrough series I should be doing, I've been trying to think, would it be the second Ratchet and Clank game that came out, or should it be Spyro 2, or will it be its name is on the tip of my tongue. Uncharted. I'm just trying to think. Because I wish there was another story game that would take me, because I don't reckon that me doing a Star Wars, which one? Star Wars, it'll come to me. Bear with me for a moment. Brain fart. Survivor, Jedi Survivor, there you go. Is that... it's just... It requires a hell of a lot of concentration to get through that. And I don't know how long it will take for me to get through that, because, you know, it's a tough game, and I'm not going to play it at, like, low difficulty. I'd be playing it at, like, not the highest difficulty, but close to pretty high. Oh, I actually did hear. I was having this conversation with a mate, and he went, if you put it on, you can apparently change one of the settings so that it would be realism, so that, you know, you get shot with a blaster, you like practically die straight away. But also wow, I don't know what I'm doing there. But on the other side of things is that you would have the lightsaber blade just like it touches them and they just die. Which, let's be honest, that's how it should be. Not this. But I've also seen these videos of like this realism approach where then you get to see people like become decapitated, which is, or just have body parts cut off, which I thought was hell intense, but you know, I'm here for it. Because I remember they had a game years ago. It's like, we're talking like 2002, 2001, 2002. It was Jedi Outcast. They actually remastered that game, and by remastered I mean they didn't actually update graphics or anything like that. They just basically slapped it on a PlayStation 4 disc and then went, there you go, you can go play it. I actually haven't finished that game from my first time I've played it, so I may restart that entire thing and play through that as well, because that's a fun game. That's a fun game. However, there are some low-key sort of difficulties with the campaign where you're not really sure what the game wants from you or where you're supposed to go. Is quite unclear, because obviously the graphics are 21 years behind now, so if you're looking for like subtle clues, you're not going to get them, because everything's just particularly if you've got like a shadowy corridor, they're going for multiple shades of darkness or whatever it is, but all you get is one shade of darkness and you're going, where do I go? At least that's me. Maybe that's just my eyesight, but sheesh. There were so many instances when I was playing through and I'm like, where am I supposed to go? And I'd get really frustrated. It was like a toddler having a tantrum, where I just not curious, well, not really sure of what the hell I'm supposed to do. And yeah, but also there's like, because I didn't play it originally when I was like 9 or whatever it was, because like my mate had the game, and so me replaying it at like 30 or 29, 30 was, we'll just say it was effectively a first playthrough. I just had no idea what was happening. But albeit it was a true hack and slash sort of lightsaber combat, like jump button, swing the lightsaber in one form, where it was just like you'd press, what would the button be on Xbox back in the day? It was like X, maybe? X sounds about right. X or maybe the right trigger, can't quite remember. But you just smash it. You just smash that button. I do, that's an element of games that I do actually miss, is the simplicity of just swing. Press one button. Part of the reason why I really like Spyro is that it's like square, circle, X, jump, sprint, flame. And I think that sometimes game developers miss that point, where for the most part, outside of like a very small subsection of the population, and they're super intense about gaming, they want to go hard, they want to know. And I'm not talking people that will play those games, I'm talking about the people that will play those games and just master that game. Unbelievably so. Like those who play. There's playing Elden Ring, and then there's like really committing to Elden Ring. I took so long to find that bloody last gem. Treasure. Whatever you want to call it. It was a nightmare. But irrespective, you have to be a real, like, I suppose, like, a maniac. You'd have to be a maniac to be, like, a true goer of that complexity of game. And I've got a few mates who are like that, and, like, I don't have that temperament. But I do respect the hustle. I would like to be able to get into those games, and maybe that'll change over time. But at this point, I really do like the simplicity of me pressing a couple of buttons, not 25, in a specific combination. Just let me smash buttons. For the love of God. It's just a lot easier for me. Anywho, outside of whinging about game development being, sometimes everyone getting too caught up into the nitty-gritty of what they're doing. I really wanted to see if I could charge them. You can't. Don't try. Wow, I just missed that straight up. But really getting back to my point about the nitty-gritty of games, and like these developers just, I think they get so fixated in like their segment, because obviously game development teams are way bigger than they've ever been. Look, here's the frog. These motherfuckers. They're gonna give me a lashing at some point, I swear to God. Anyway. What was I saying? Yes, where they get, because now, I think it was like, I heard this thing that was like, for the development of, what was it, COD 4. Also, really good campaign. They had 64 game developers. 64 for the entire game. And now there's some crazy quantity. I don't know what that specific number is. It's actually worthwhile me looking that figure up, but I'm certain that it would be at minimum tenfold more. And everyone's doing their own respective, aspect, whether it's like, I gotta make microtransactions a real priority, or cosmetics, and then we lose the core of what made the game fun. And then you have like one real hardcore gamer who's also one of the game's coders, who's just like, I'm gonna make it super complicated because it appeals to me as a game developer. And it's just like, remember, most of the population is like chill. They want to play games that are like easy, simple, where it's just, you can sort of like turn off your brain, not have to engage it all the time. For most people, and I am one of those people as well, that works a job and it requires the utmost concentration each hour of the day. You don't wanna have to concentrate even more so. So let's say you've concentrated for 8 hours in your day, and then they're just like, hey, why don't you concentrate for another 2 hours to do this? And they can really, and if you're built like that, that's cool. But I don't reckon too many people are built that way. My experience suggests that a lot of people just kind of want to veg out. I've got an idea of what the game requires. I want to follow this story, and then I want to go do some stuff. I want to follow the railway lines of the story arc, not too open world, because that's also been one of the major criticisms of the recent Call of Duty game, has been that it became more and more open world. That its criticism was that it became a lot like constant DMZ sort of thing, and you're like, we want a railway. You want to just follow the guidelines, the railways of the story arc, not be left to your own devices for it. If people want those games, that they buy the games that are like, Red Dead Redemption. They're buying Borderlands, where it's just like, it's got a story arc, but you got side missions and you can level up your shit. And I suppose that, like, for them it was like, let's try and make it more and more like it's Warzone or DMZ or whatever it was. And you're like, that's a game mode, man. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think that too much of these developers are actually too caught in their own world that they've lost scope on what regular people want to go through. Don't mind that horrendous sound. I'll just try and close that window real quick. But gosh, I hope that's a bit better. Whew. Angle grinders or sanding belts, just not a vibe. Anyway, where was I? Well, doesn't matter. We're basically wrapping up anyway, but I'm sure I'll continue on my tangential thoughts about games and how things need to be run. Not that I'm at all qualified to any capacity to talk about how to actually run a game, but shit, I have been a consumer of games for a hecking long time, so I don't know. I think I know what I like. Oh, sheesh. But anyway, if you've enjoyed my ramblings, please do like, comment, subscribe. Tell me things that interest you. What makes a good game to you? You know, I'm curious to know. I want to know if other people's experiences are similar. Alrighty then. Peace soup.